Hi, Eva Dietz, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, here to show you the angled gatefold Christmas card that I offered in our Use Your Stash Christmas Dash online class. And this one that's on the screen is one that I have made before, just to show you kind of what it's going to look like. So it is a card with a belly band, 2 angled fronts, and something nice inside. So, and you can fold it either direction, whatever you prefer. So let's get started. So you should have an envelope with a piece of designer series paper for the flap. You should have your card base, and I've already got my tick marks marked that we'll be cutting in just a moment. It's scored at 3 3/8 and 7 5/8. Then you have 2 pieces of your choice of designer series paper that is 3 1/8 by 5 1/4, and I also have those tick marks marked to cut them in just a moment. I've got an 1 inch wide piece of cardstock for belly band, and then a 3/4 inch piece for belly band. Use whatever dies you have, but I've got 2 dies that are going to work nicely together. We'll be stamping that in just a minute. And then I really like that snowflake cookie from the other set, so I thought it'd work with this, with being a shade of brown. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and I forgot that you need your basic white for inside so that you can have the card liner as well. So, okay. So I'll bring my paper trimmer over here, and you're going to be cutting to the fold line here. So I'm going to place the little pencil line on my blade, keeping it tipped till I hit the score line. There we go. That looks pretty good. Cut that right off. Perfect. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing with the 1 inch mark. Line it right up with the part, but I'm also going to go from the bottom up so there's no ragged corner. Then we'll repeat, do this over here. Line, line. Okay, that's our last cut. Now, since I happen to have, oh, I see I got a little square edge there. I'm going to trim that just a smidge more. Just a smidge more. Let's see what I can do with that. Right about there. That worked. Okay, great. Sometimes you don't get it on the first try. Now, since I have pencil marks that are going to show, I have a white eraser that I like to take my pencil marks off with real quick. Make it look brand new. Alrighty, then we'll score on the folds with my bone folder. Another fold, bone folder. Okay, I'm just going to lay the inside white piece there, just so I remember to glue it in after I stamp it in a little bit. Now I'm going to bring the paper cutter back and cut the 2 pieces of designer series paper. And here is the first piece. How interesting. I'm having a little trouble getting that lined up because I got a square edge on that one too. Okay, try again. Oh, much better. Okay. Here comes the next one. Alrighty, there's our 2 pieces we need. Get rid of my scraps here. And you do need to pay attention to the direction and design of your paper so that it will look the way you'd like it to look. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down in that particular size. Looks like it's going to fit pretty well. Oh, I forgot to erase my pencil mark though. Do that real quick. Alrighty. Use some snail that's in my collection. Here we go. Do my best to get an even border there. Well, almost got one. That's the thing I love about card making. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's nice if it is, but you know, it looks handmade that way. If you've made a mistake on measuring or you didn't cut 100% accurately. Either way, it's okay. And I gotta remember to erase my pencil lines on this too. Wow, I'm gonna have to cut that better. I don't like how that looks. Quick little snip off the bottom here. Let's see if that fixed it. No matter how hard you try, sometimes things just don't quite fit the way you want them to. Okay, that's better. Take my pencil off. There we go. And I wanted the cherry cobbler plaid paper on top, so I've got that. And I'm going to, already had a pre-stamped tag, so I'm going to be gluing a little tag that says Christmas Cheer on my white layer. And then we'll glue that down inside the card. Okay, all done there. Now I'm going to take my tag and go ahead and stamp that so the ink will have a chance to set. And I have to make sure I get it to the left side because my cookie is going to cover some of that tag. I'm going to use cherry cobbler ink. Tap, tap, tap. Yep, make sure you get the ink all on there. Yep, there we go. Okay, right there. I like to hold it for 1, 2, 3. Usually you get a really nice ink job that way. And if you don't have a stamp or a Simply Chamois, I recommend getting one, cutting it in half, and putting them in some baggies because it makes your stamps so easy to clean. I just re-watered these, so they're a little juicy on the water, but they'll dry. Alrighty, now I can go ahead and glue the tag down to the other outline that I cut out. So that'll be ready to go. Okay, come on, tag, cooperate. There we go. Okay. There, it's better. Alrighty, now I'm sure I'm going to be cutting some off the belly band, but I just wanted to make sure that I had enough. So I'm going to use the 11-inch long piece and I will fit it and then trim it. And some people like to pre-score their belly bands. I find I just need to fold it around and then crease it with my bone folder. Oh my, I'm not doing so good on my seams here today. Yikes. I'm going to have to trim that off. It's so bad. Well, some days are better than others to make cards, you know. But whether you use 1 inch or 7/8, either way's fine. That should look a little better. Still not enough. Okay. One thing I like about the paper trimmer, you definitely can keep tweaking it till you get it the way you want it. Okay, sometimes then you have to use your scissors to fine tune it, but that won't take but a minute here. Because I had 2 layers of paper, so it made it harder to cut. And that's one thing about the Stampin' Seal. Once you get it down, you can't take it up without having to start over. And sometimes you just have to cut your own little edge. Nice part, it's going to be hidden mostly. Okay, that's respectable. Okay, so closing my card. The belly band is going to be covered in the front, so it will not show. Whoops. Stray piece of paper there. Okay, so I don't like to make it tight, fit too tightly, but I want it to be, you know, easy enough to slide on and off. And that's why I kind of just fold it around on my own. And then I kind of test it a little. Oh yeah, that'll move. Okay, now I'm going to cut some of the back side off, so about 1 inch off. So I guess I needed a 10-inch strip. And then I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal to really hold it down there. Don't forget to do the check mark at the end. And then line it up as best you can. Okay, got a belly band that's going to slide. Yep, pretty good. Okay. Now this tag is going to get centered and glued flat. Or am I going to scoot it over a bit because of this cookie? I bet you I'm going to need to scoot it over a bit. Yes, I am. Okay, good to know. All right, so I think I'll go ahead and seal the cookie down just so that I have it placed. And sticky parts there. All right, that looks pretty good. So now, that means I'm going to have this Stampin' Seal on this side. I'm going to put a couple dimensionals on the cookie so it remains level. So Stampin' Seal right down the middle here. Okay, and then my mini dimensionals. Going to put one right there, one right there. That should be enough. Okay, peel that off. Okay, so that's going to go right about there, 1/4 inch kind of on each side. Aim for the middle. Now the last thing is going to be some embellishments, and I have some retired red rhinestones that, even though this is cherry cobbler, I think the red rhinestones are just going to make it pop like it did on the other belly band over here. So I'm going to try that. So let's see, I'm going to need 7, 1 for the middle and 1 out at each tip. Then you'll just need to finish up with your envelope flap, which I'll show you in just a moment. And then you'll have a pretty finished card set. And of course, don't forget to stamp the back of your card because you made it. Or handwrite your name and date, whichever you prefer. There we go. Oh, I kind of like that. That's looking kind of cute. Okay, so envelope here. My trick for the envelope flap is I like to put the glue on when the flap is open. Go around the edges and do one diagonal. Then I like to close the envelope, hold the edge with my fingernails, so that way I can line up the paper precisely along that fold of the envelope. There we go. As best you can. Some days better than others. And then I trim off the excess. And because this paper stack that I'm using happened to be 6 by 6, I didn't have enough of the matching green and red plaid that I would have normally used. So I thought just this crumb cake plaid will be just fine. Okay, there we go. And that's our finished card. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.